What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the very first episode of the Blindingly Awesome Podcast Show. I'm your host with a little less swag than buttered toast. My name is Zach, and joining me is the blindingly part of the show, Haley. Haley, what's going on?
Hey, how's it going, buddy?
It's going all right. So, it's your first time doing a podcast, right?
I've actually done a couple for a class.
For a class, not for real life money and stuff.
Right, so I'm excited.
Good. So, we are the Blindingly Awesome Podcast Show on the Zach and Friends Podcast channel on YouTube. Check us out. And we wanted to do the show because I have known Haley for going on to 5 years, and she is one of the most amazing people that I've ever met in my life. And the reason we want to do this podcast is to show you guys some positive emotions, show you that you can do anything. So that's what we're all about, right?
You got it.
I got it. Blind girl said I got it.
That's right.
All right. So we're going to start off every episode with a blind joke. Why? Because Haley thinks they're funny. So what you got for me today, Haley?
Okay, so this is my way of kind of, as opposed to blonde jokes, I call them blind jokes. So, for example, if I'm, walking and I bump into, a person, or I bump into a chair, I say, oh, whoops, I didn't see that. Or sometimes if I'm, walking and there's, a door that, pushes as opposed to pulls, but I can't find the handle, I'm like, wait, I'm having a blind moment. This is great. And I just laugh about it because, what is life if you can't laugh and have fun, So
I actually like that thought a lot. You can't laugh at yourself, who can you laugh at, right?
Exactly.
So do you have, one in absolute favorite in particular, or you just
honestly, no. I kind of just use them in the moment. And it's so cool because, I'll use them, and I'll say the same thing kind of in different... when different things happen, and people are like, oh my gosh, Haley, they never get annoyed because they just think it's so funny. So, and I'm sure that Zach's been a witness to it several times, so he can definitely attest to it too, right?
Absolutely. She will just be sitting there and goes, man, I can't see anything. We're like, Haley, you're blind. She's like, oh, I know, I just wanted to say it. So, alright, so we want to start every episode with a blind humor. It's something that helps you cope, right?
Honestly, it helps to kind of ease other people's emotions. Because for me, I've always been a huge fan of the blind chick life because I've never seen anything, so I don't know what it's like to see, so I don't miss it. So I think that kind of the way that I use humor is it's my hope that people can kind of calm themselves down if they think that I think it's funny, and they just won't really think it's a big deal because it's not. So
it's really not.
Right.
One of my favorite quotes that Haley has ever said is, I can do everything anyone else can do, I just do it differently. Mm-hmm. And it's one of the reasons why we're doing this podcast, to show you that a blind girl can be on camera and be successful or fail. She's still on camera. Alright, so you want to just go ahead and give a little brief history about yourself so our audience knows who you are, what you're about, and all that.
Sounds great. So I was born at 26 weeks, so super early. I had about 15 to 20 eye surgeries within the first year and a half of my life, and I'm so pumped that none of them worked out, thank goodness. So and so I can see light and shadows, and that's an awesome because it really helps for traveling. I can differentiate between stairs versus balconies or windows versus doors and small things like that, which do make a difference. And then when I was in high school, I graduated from Ben Davis, and I recently graduated from Butler about 3 months ago. Go
right.
Dogs!
So so you guys know, Ben Davis is one of the biggest high schools in Indiana, and she graduated third in her class out of how many?
About 1,030.
Out of 1,030 people, she graduated third. So that's pretty impressive as it is. Some other things that she's done that I'm aware of. Like I said, I've only known her for 4 going on to 5 years. She's actually on my other videos on the Zach and Friends podcast channel. You might have heard of Ghost. This is actually Ghost's cousin. Mm-hmm. So I mean, we're a pretty tight knit family unit here.
We are.
But so another thing that I've heard that she's done is when you were 13. She was 13 years old, and she participated in a national Braille reading competition. And what place did you get in, Haley? Second. So she was the first loser. Now, but still, a national competition is still pretty impressive. So like, what did that entail? So, where was it first off?
Yeah, so it was in California, in LA, and we had to do about 5 different, like, tests. So we had to, like, do, like, comprehension, and, like, Braille proofreading, and, like, kind of, like, speed interpretation, where we had to, like, hear, like, an audio file, and pretty much, like, write out what it was saying. And then we had to do, we had to, like, kind of read and examine different, like, maps and charts, and answer questions about them. And I think we had I think it was like a spelling test too. So, yeah.
You see, before I even met Haley, I had no idea they even did Braille competitions. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it makes sense though, because I'm pretty sure they do like regular reading competitions.
Right.
There's national spelling bees and stuff like that. So I mean, it would make sense, but I had no idea about that. Which kind of goes into our next topic. So blindness has a lot of, I would say, myths behind it, right? There are a lot of, I don't want to say stereotypical things. So like, when I first met you, I was afraid to say like, oh, I saw this, or I can see this, right? That type of stuff, because I didn't know how you would react.
Yeah.
So can you give us a couple of these myths and tell us a little bit about them and how you kind of work your way around them, essentially?
Yeah, sure thing, of course. So, I think people think that all blind people are able to tell, like, every single person, like, right when they walk up. So, like, if I have, like, met a person, like, once or twice, I can usually identify who they are. But just like people who see, people look pretty similar to each other sometimes. So with voices, like, some voices are more similar than others. So sometimes if I know 2 people that have a pretty similar voice, or if, like, they're twins or something, sometimes it's a bit more difficult for me to tell who the person is. So I'll just say, oh, hi, and who is this? And then they'll just tell me who it is, and I'll usually be able to, like, find some kind of vocal nuance to figure out who they are in the future. But I've had a couple people, when I said, oh, who is this? They'd be like, oh, well, you didn't recognize my voice? And I'm like, oh, sorry, I didn't quite hear you. So I'll try to, like, find, like, some kind of thing to, like, say back to you, where I kind of explain that, you know, I mean, just like a person, sometimes I've had friends when we'll be out and about, they'll be like, oh, so-and-so's over there, but I can't remember what their name is, but I've seen their face. So it's a very similar principle with hearing.
So is there, like, any other way that you identify people other than by their voice?
Yeah, actually, I'll be honest, smell. Like, this is kind of creepy, but I mean, I kind of know people by how they smell, especially if they wear a certain kind of, like, perfume or cologne. And I'll know who a certain person is before they even have to talk to me based on their cologne, especially if they're pretty close to me. So, yeah. And then... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, so, like, can you, like, sense, like, an aura around people? Like, so, like, if I approach you, can you, like, feel my presence?
I kind of can. Like, I can see that you're over here, and I can't quite tell what you look like, but I can see your, like, basic outline, and I can see that there's, like, something in front of me, if that makes sense.
Right. Okay, so those are a couple ways that you can identify people. What's another, like, myth behind being blind?
Yeah, I would say that people think that every blind person must know how to play piano and must sing, and that every blind person is going to be like a Stevie Wonder or a Diane Shore. And don't get me wrong, I love to sing, I love to play piano, but I also have known some people throughout my life who aren't very musical, and that's totally fine. So not every blind person is going to be your next, like, top-notch pianist or vocalist.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it true also that, like, do you feel like your other senses are heightened because you can't see? So,
I
like,
do.
So you think, like, your hearing is sharper, like, you're able to smell things better?
People can whisper, like, 2 rooms over, and I'll be able to hear what they're saying, usually.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, when I was in high school, we did this experiment is a one-day thing, but some students got their a sense removed, either their sight or their hearing.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
And, yeah, so, like, if they got their hearing removed, they put on these big noise-muffling earphones. Mm-hmm. And when their sight removed, they would put, like, a blindfold on for the entire day.
Nice.
And they would say that, like, I think my senses were getting stronger. Like, if they couldn't see, like, oh, my hearing got better. Or, obviously, vice versa. I can't hear, well, my sight improved.
Right.
So, I mean, you just said it yourself. You feel that your hearing's pretty sharp, and you can be able to smell things from a while away or far away and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Cool. You got one more myth about blindness you want to share with us?
Let's see. I think.
How do you feel when people say, "Oh, I saw that," or "I can see that"?
So kind of going off of what you said earlier, a lot of people are afraid to use like words like look and see, to where it's like, I'm totally fine with those because I see things just like in a different way, for lack of better words. So I say, oh, I saw that, or oh, I'll look at that, and this guy over here gives me a hard time about it all the time because he's like, wait, you did? You saw that? And I'm like,
sometimes.
Yeah, I did.
Sometimes. Don't make me out to be the bad person here. So, what are like some, I don't want to say trigger words, but like what are some words that people are generally hesitant to say around you? I mean, obviously see or saw. Is there like any other words along those lines? Like they're afraid to say?
There's a couple of people, not many, but a couple of people who have actually been afraid to use the word blind. So they'll kind of like dance around it for a while, and I'll just be like, oh yeah, the blind chick life, or oh yeah, my blindness. So I'll kind of answer for them to kind of help them not be so apprehensive. Which again.
Right. I mean, when I was first told about you, I have never met a blind person before.
Right.
I mean, I'm pretty blind in the morning. I can't see anything without my glasses or contacts in. But you can't see ever. Or
right.
like much at all. I mean, you said earlier you could see like shadows and lights. But
yeah.
Other than that, like you don't know what my face looks like. My handsome face. So like I didn't know how to approach you. I didn't know how to handle being around you, essentially.
Yeah, sure thing.
But come to know you more and more, you're just like everyone else, which
definitely.
I definitely can. I knew that from the start anyway, because I used to be a student teacher, and we used to do. I was in a class where I was helping students with special needs, like a kindergarten class.
Right.
So, I mean, I know, I understand people are different people, but they're still people.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's just a matter of like, what can I say to you? What can I not say to you? What do you find offensive? Stuff.
Right.
Do you find anything offensive?
Yeah, I was actually just going to say that. Like, honestly, it's almost impossible to offend me. And I think that, like, also I want to point out that not all blind people are the same. Like, there's some blind people who are like really offended and not very happy with it. Especially they've lost their sight later on in life. It's been a lot harder for them to accept it. Whereas, like, me, like, you can, like, ask me any questions. I think I've had a lot of experiences in my life. And so that's allowed me to become like really open and just honest about everything. So
Awesome. So, we talked a little bit about some myths with blindness. It's true you have a service dog, right?
I do.
Oh, I knew she had a service dog. She's one of the sweetest dogs. Actually, we can hear her running in right now. Her name's Ezzy.
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about Ezzy.
Yeah, so I've had her go, we're going to be having our 5th year together, and I got her from a school in New Jersey, and she's a mix between a lab and a golden, so half lab, I hear half golden, and, yeah, she's incredible. Like, I trained her to Butler's campus, and so,
Yeah.
here she is, but, yeah. Can she, like, be seen?
Yeah, a little bit. You can see her a little bit. She was also blocked by the mic. So, like she said, Ezzy, you said you've had her for 5 years. So,
Yeah.
Ezzy is, what, 6?
Yep, she'll be 6 in October.
So, here's something interesting I didn't know. Service dogs have a weight restriction, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That they're supposed to keep.
Right, so, like, for her, she has to be below 70 pounds. And she's great. She's, like, 63 right now.
So, why is that, though?
So, because they want to make sure that the dogs don't become too obese or overweight, so they can still be healthy and be working for as long as possible.
All right, so you said obese. So, my cat Kingsley, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, he's a male cat. He, I guess, is only supposed to weigh about 12 pounds.
Right.
Okay. Every time we take him to the vet, he weighs like 12.5, 12.8. I think this last time he was like 13. But it always fluctuates in between 12 and 13.
Yeah.
The vet I had before always said, "Oh, he's overweight. He's overweight. If you don't take care of that, we're gonna have to put him on special dietary food and da 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 da." Right? Mm-hmm. This vet I took him into last time saw him, was like, "Oh, he's stocky."
Oh.
So I don't understand the weight thing with him. I know there's like ideal weights for everybody, ideal body types and all that, especially in the animals too. But I don't understand. 12.2 pounds is not.
I mean, come on, that's nothing, you know.
Wasn't there one point she could only weigh like 55 pounds or something like that, or was that just how much she weighed?
That was like when she was younger, I think, and then
because you had just started at Butler.
Right. Mm-hmm. Go dogs, by the way.
Yeah, go dogs. Yeah, I think it's your freshman year, I believe.
Yeah, it was. Mm-hmm.
She was only, Ezzy was only allowed to weigh 55 pounds, and Haley would freak out when she weighed like 56 pounds. I don't know if you got threatened as you'd be taken away or not, but I mean, that 1 pound is.
It's not that big of a deal at all.
Right. Haley also, I think, knows this, but we also will sneak food to Ezzy.
Yeah, especially on like Thanksgiving and Christmas. I promote it. Then I'm like, hey, like we all have a meal. Like, let's give her some turkey. Why not?
Haley's parents don't approve of it,
so we just sneak around and we still get away with it.
We're like, you see him anywhere? Here.
Yeah.
Have some ham. But exactly. They always know we do it eventually. Mm-hmm.
They've learned over the years. They figured out that we're not going to stop anytime soon. So
yeah, Ezzy is one of the sweetest dogs ever. She acts like she doesn't get any love, and when people walk in, but she does. But I do want to talk a little bit. So we just talked about some myths with being blind, blindness, and all that, right? Mm-hmm. What are some myths with service animals? I mean, obviously, we just spent 5 minutes talking about Ezzy.
Right, so I think my favorite one is that people think that she can, like, read stop signs and look at stoplights and be able to, like, know when to cross the street based on those. And she actually can't. Newsflash, I decide when to cross the streets, and I give her the command to go when I know it's safe, and then we go. But while we're crossing the street, if she sees a car that's turning in front of us, then she'll stop and put herself in front of me, and then she'll like block us, and then once that car is through, then we go through.
So how do you decide if it's safe to cross the street?
Yeah, so what I do is I wait for my parallel traffic to go. So say if like the perpendicular streets in front of me and then parallel streets on my right, what I'll do is I'll wait for that first car to get halfway through the intersection. So I'll wait for it to be a bit past my shoulder, and once I can hear it going straight through, then I know, okay, like, obviously no cars are turning now, so I'm good to go.
All right, so what's another myth
So-
with service animals?
Yeah, so kind of going off of that, I would say another one is that the dog knows exactly where to go no matter where you are. So I kind of got a lot of this when I was like on campus. People would think, oh, they'd say, oh, like how does she know where to take you? And I'm glad that they asked that question because it's a great question. But I would just say, oh, actually, I like learned Butler's campus on my own before I got her, and then I gave her commands, and like as we would go like from like my dorm to one of the like the Starbucks, my favorite place. So as we would go like
Starbucks.
yes, exactly. But as we would go like from there to like the dining hall or from there to like one of the academic buildings, she'd kind of memorize the route, so I wouldn't have to like cue her as often because she'd kind of know where we're going.
But that did lead to a
But-
problem, though, didn't it?
It
From
did.
your freshman to sophomore year, right?
Yeah, so sophomore year, I transitioned to a different dorm, and so she was confused because she was so used to having the specific routes that we would do every day for 9 months, and once we changed them up, she's like, wait, we're supposed to do the old ones. So she actually like kind of stopped working for a couple weeks, and so her training had to come out, and we spent like a pretty intense week just doing training after training, like repetition after repetition, just to make sure that she had all the new routes like down, and I trained her to those, and then ever since then she's been fine. But I think that she had to have that like one kind of training lesson again just to get back into shape.
And the trainer was from New Jersey, right?
Yeah.
So she flew all the way from New Jersey just to walk around with a blind girl for a week.
Right. And I think that as he knew that it was her trainer, because once she was there, it was like nothing ever happened, and she just came like
Oh, I
got
was
back
working
into
the
shape.
whole time.
Yeah. What were you talking about?
All right. Got any more myths of service animals or general? Let's include general rules.
Yeah. So this is the harness.
You want to hold it?
Yep, here you go. So, when that's on the dogs, that means that you generally can't pet them. I'm a bit more lenient if you were, like, super close to me and I love you a lot, which is pretty much anyone. But, yeah, so I usually let people that I know really well pet her because I know, like, she's not one who can get distracted very easily. So, she knows the difference between, like, when she's working versus when she's just laying down and kind of relaxing, even when she is in harness. And I'd say also I wouldn't recommend giving them table food. Like, I've never fed her table food except for on holidays. So like at restaurants, she used to try and kind of scavenge for food. And I think people might have tried like to drop it occasionally, but now she's really good about not going after anything.
Do you think a lot of that had to do with her being young?
Oh yeah, she still has that puppy instinct in it.
The puppy instinct. All right, so we love Ezzy. Ezzy's
We
awesome.
do.
So you have a harness. You also have a leash. What?
I do.
So when she's not on the harness or leash, she's pretty much free to do whatever she wants. Right?
Yeah.
So she's on the harness. She knows she's working. Right.
Right.
What about the leash? Is that like the middle, like in
It is.
between,
It's like a middle ground per se. So like the leash, like I'll take her out if I'm like in a place that I know really well. Like I mean, obviously at my house or in like friends' houses or family's houses, I don't use her at all because I know where I'm going. But if I'm like at like a workplace I know really well and I'm like walking just in a room, but I want to take her, then I'll usually take her off harness and keep the leash on. Or like when I was in the dorm, I would just take her on leash to go to the restroom if I was coming right back to my like room afterwards. And then like when I'm walking with her on harness and leash, like the leash kind of just gives both of us like a good traction, so it allows me to feel through the leash what her head is doing, so I can tell if she's like sniffing or if her head is turned a certain direction based on the movement of the leash. And then for her, she can kind of feel like what I'm doing. So say if like she is making a mistake on route, or if she's like too busy sniffing and not walking, then I'll like kind of pull back on the leash and it'll give her a small tug like, hey, pay attention, it's time to work and don't sniff, you know. So It's kind of a go-between.
How does she do in crowds?
So she's actually really good in crowds. She's really good about guiding in crowds. She's really good about, like, staying calm. I don't usually take her to concerts. I do go to church, so I take her to, like, worship at church. But at concerts or, like, large sporting events, I usually, like, leave her back and just, like, walk with a friend, because those can be a bit overwhelming, especially if people were really excited and pretty loud. But generally, if I'm, like, at the mall or in a crowded restaurant, then she's totally fine.
But she's known all around campus, right?
Yeah, and around Eddie, pretty much.
They're both celebrities around here. Something we didn't mention earlier when we were kind of telling Haley's story. So that quote I mentioned earlier, I could do everything a normal person can do, I do it differently. She was actually interviewed by the local paper, the Indianapolis Star, and for graduating, she got a full ride to Butler. If you don't know what Butler is, for one, you're living under a rock. Two, it's a pretty good school, right?
Yeah.
So
hands down.
What did you major in at Butler?
Yeah, so I actually did a double major with communication.
Hang on a second. So not only did she get a full ride to a really pretty good school, she also double majored, not being able to see.
And I took some pretty visual classes because I studied speech pathology, and a lot of that is, like, very sciencey, like, so I had to, like, have pictures of, like, anatomy for, like, bones, and so yeah, there were some pretty, there were basically classes that I was taking that really weren't ideal for a blind chick, but I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna go for them anyway. And even though speech path isn't the route that I'm going down for a career, I'm, like, still happy that I went ahead and, like, did that as my major, because I kind of beat the odds and did some things that a lot of people probably wouldn't do. So.
And your minor was Spanish.
Right? Actually, yep, my second major was Spanish.
This girl does it all. Not only that, she was also voted homecoming queen.
Mm-hmm.
Homecoming queen. She had a 3.9 GPA.
Yep.
She was part of the student council. So with her, I can't remember. It's been years.
Right, student government.
Student government and
dance marathon.
What were you in the student government?
So I was, like, every year I had a different position. So, like, my first year I was, like, a student concerns person, and then first semester, second year I was, like, a co-chair for a concert or coffee house committee, and then the next year and a half I helped with projects when, like, students had, like, concerns about academic life on campus. I helped, like, with advising for academics. So yeah, kind of a mixed bag of things.
So what role did Ezzy play at the student government?
She slept and got attention from people and tried to get, like, crumbs off the floor when we'd have breadsticks and, like, cookies for events. So yeah, she, like, either slept or, like, ate.
So a dog.
Right.
All right, so you said you would take Ezzy to class, right?
Mm-hmm.
Were there any times where you had to, I know you know of a couple, where you had to leave because Ezzy was acting up?
Yeah, actually, one time last year...
I purposely made her tell this story, by the way.
Yeah. So one time last year, I was
last year was your senior year, right?
Yeah, it was in the fall, and I was, like, in the grab-and-go basement getting some lunch, and I had, like, a box of chicken tenders, and the person who was, like, filling the box filled one too many, and so one of them was kind of, like, hanging out of the box, and so she took every opportunity that she could and ate it out of the box, and then got sick. And so then I, like, take her to class. She's fine for the first couple minutes, and then she gets sick again. And it happens, like, 3 or 4 times within the next, like, 20-minute period. And so eventually, after a half hour, my professor said, well, you guys are all dead anyway. Let's just get out of class 45 minutes early. And I think that I heard a couple people, like, under their breath, they were like, yes, that's the best dog ever. So, yeah, that was a pretty great day. For everyone, I gotta say.
Right. I mean, when I remember being in school, anytime you got out of class early, that's a wonderful day, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you like school.
Yeah.
But
even that, I mean, the dog was sick. I didn't really want to deal with that happening in public because she never really gets sick in public ever, so this was kind of a first for me. in the 4 years that I've had her. So.
Yeah, I
And
don't.
I texted him that night, and he's like, "Oh, I know that Ezzy and you were their best friends from that point on."
Right. If you puke with someone, you're their best friend. This is how it is. All right. So, you have any other myths about service animals you want to share before we move on? Or?
Nothing I can think of right now.
Cool. I did think it was interesting that you said that they could read. Well, it's a myth that they can read like stop signs and stuff.
Yeah.
That never even crossed my mind personally. Like, I had no thought like, oh yeah, this dog can read words.
Right.
And dogs are also colorblind.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't know how they'd be able to identify, oh, that's a stop sign, that's red.
I know, right?
Red's bad. Speaking of red, so obviously you can't really see.
No, really?
the blindingly part of the show. So when people are describing colors, what do you think?
Yeah, so I kind of think about things like that I know that are that color. Like, for example, the sky is blue, so I think that blue is like a light color. I mean, obviously it has different shades, but I think generally it's probably like a light color versus red, I think of fire. Similar, like smoky and darker. Tan, I kind of think of like a neutral color. Green, I think of like grass, so a bit more light, even though it has different shades. It can be darker.
So you want to play a game?
Sure, why not?
All right.
I'm done.
So we're going to play this game. I'm going to mix it up between the two. I'm either going to tell her a ordinary household object, and she's going to have to tell me what color she thinks it is and why. Or vice versa. I'm going to describe a color, and she's going to tell me what she thinks it is. Or, like, she's going to tell me what color she thinks when I describe it. So, for instance, if I say it's hot, it's burning, you would probably think, what, red, right?
Yeah.
That's fire.
Right.
All right. Rules pretty easy to understand?
Yeah, sounds good. Let's do this.
All right, so if she gets it wrong, I get to smack her. We agreed beforehand. No, I'm not going to... Put the pitchforks down, people. I'm not going to hit blind girl. Only when she deserves it.
Even then, nope. Nope, he's not that kind of guy, guys. He's great. Like, he's getting married to my cousin in a month, and I couldn't ask for a better...
49 days, actually.
Woo!
It's 49 days from today. Ashley Ghost actually said it today at our meeting.
Nice.
It's
Awesome.
It's crazy. It's getting real
yeah,
close.
that went fast. It's getting so real. I can't believe it.
Okay, I'll start off with one that you are probably really familiar with. When I say like royalty, like kings and queens, what color would you think of? I'll give you a hint. It's something related to your high school.
So purple, right?
Yeah.
Purple.
Like regal. Like,
Right.
I don't know. Grapes. I don't know. Like.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just kind of looking around the room here. Piano. What color do you think the piano is?
Like the keys.
It's like no, like the frame of the piano itself. So it's like a wood. It's made of wood.
So maybe like a tan or a brown color.
Yep, that's right. So if I describe something as it's so hard to describe a color without saying the actual color.
Yeah.
Bright, shiny. Sometimes it's hard to see because it's so bright. What color would you say? What do you think?
Let's see. Because I feel like that can be multiple colors depending on like what shade it is, you know. So maybe like a bright blue or like a white or.
I'm thinking more like the sun.
Oh, so like a light.
Like a.
So yellow.
Yes, that's what let's look for is yellow. Like so, if you're in a forest, what color would you think? Like a forest would be.
So like trees, like having like red and yellow. Trees, possibly maybe like green, maybe.
Yep. Yep. All right. I'm just trying to see. What's another household item? What color do you think of when you talk about like leather? So like let's use the harness, for example. What color do you think the leather is? Oh, I pulled up the harness, and as he walks over, she thinks it's time to work. No, you're okay. No, you're okay, Ez.
Yep.
So, like, I'm gonna set this in front of you. If you want to feel it, feel it.
Right.
First off, do you know what leather is made out of?
Is it? I'm actually not sure.
Leather's made out of cowhide.
Oh, really?
Yep. So you know it comes from a cow, but they obviously color it and stain it and all that. So leather is like stained. It's like it's a darker color.
Right.
So, formulating any ideas so far? Formulating any ideas yet? What it might be?
Maybe like a brown.
Yep, actually, that's exactly right.
Nice.
Is a dark brown. So, all right. If I said the color white, how would you describe white?
So I say pretty light, pretty neutral too, because like most white things can like, when we talk about like clothing and like matching clothing, I think that white can go with a lot of things. So pretty.
Don't ask me that. I have no idea.
Yeah. So pretty.
I'm not very fashionable. So if you ask me my fashion advice, I'm gonna say, I guess that looks good. 9 times out of 10, I'm wrong. Actually, most of the clothes in my closet Ghost has bought me.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, don't worry. I mean, for a blind chick, I'm pretty fashionable, I say. And I know like what my clothes look like, so I know how to match them and like when things don't go together, and what kind of shoes to wear with which outfits. So yeah.
How do you know what color like your clothes
So
are?
I kind of do by
or like
picture.
what kind of clothes they are.
So like this, for example, like this shirt is dark pink, and I know that because it has a certain kind of texture with it that my other shirts don't have. And then these pants, these are my only pair of capris that have this kind of texture. And this is tan, because these are my only pair of capris that have like a like the button has like a hole in it, and so if I put those two together, like, oh yeah, these are my tan pants. And then my sandals, they have like kind of beads on these, and these are the only like sandals that have these kind of beads. So I know, okay, these are my black sandals, and like the color black, in terms of clothing, goes with almost anything. So this works.
So like you're describing like how you can identify what types of clothing is which, but initially, like when you're early in the morning, like you just woke up,
right.
You're like, I'm trying to pick my outfit for the day. How do you determine?
Yeah, like that's pretty much how I do it. Like I figure out, okay, do I want to be dressy today, or do I want to be kind of cash? And then based on that, then I'll just like look at my closet, and like I have my closet divided, kind of like between like different kinds of shirts too. So I kind of put like the shirts that look similar together, so it's not that hard.
I thought I've heard your mom say before you have like a label system like made of braille.
Yeah, but I have that for some shirts, but I don't use it anymore really, because I mean, I do use that if my shirts are like identical. So like for my butler shirts, I have like a tag in the back of them it says like BLD for dark blue or PKD for dark pink, and that way I know like, okay, this is pink, this is blue. But for most of my shirts, there's something that feels different about each one of them that I know like what they look like based on just texture.
Okay, so if you feel my shirt, I'm right. Yep. What color would you think that is?
Yeah. Oh, like
like a meshy.
Oh, can you edit that out? Sorry. Anyway,
I'm not editing any of this.
Okay.
It's fine. You're human. You're human. You're allowed to sneeze. I've picked my nose like 3 times since I've
really?
started.
Oh.
You don't know. You can't.
Okay, so continuing. So I say your shirt is maybe like a lighter color?
No.
Or gotcha. Cause like it's hard because like when I go shopping with friends or family, I always like ask them, hey, like what color is this? Or would this look good with this? So I know what I'm buying before I leave. So I kind of just like base like my textures off of my outfits or my colors. It's kind of hard to explain, but
as long as you know what you're doing.
Yeah, I have a system down, so it works out really well.
That is something I had to get accustomed to when I first met you. You having to describe things to you. So like if we go to a restaurant that doesn't have a Braille menu, we have to kind of tell you. First off, we kind of know what you like, right?
Yeah. Right.
So that saves us a little bit of time. Then we have to kind of go through every option. So like, okay, well, you're feeling chicken today. Well, they got chicken pot pie, grilled chicken.
And that's only if we go to a new one. Like, I mean, I've been to so many places that I kind of know, like...
She eats out every day.
Not every day. Most days.
98% of the days. So, so we do have to kind of tell her, obviously, if they have a Braille menu, that's one thing, right?
Right.
Because you just ask for it, and then you can read it.
Or if like the menu's online, I'll like look at it ahead of time, so I kind of have an idea of what they have, and then if I need like more detail, then I'll just ask.
Do you have your phone on you?
I actually don't. It's charging.
Okay, I was going to have you kind of explain a little bit, like, how do you operate a phone? You have a cell phone.
Yeah, I do. I have
you don't use it half the time, but you have a phone. So how do you use it?
Here, wanna have Ghost bring it in?
Yeah. Hey, Ghost.
Hey, Ghost.
What?
Will you bring Haley's phone, please?
See, she's our hander and grabber and bring stuff to us person.
It's charging.
No, it's not.
It's in the rocking chair.
Yep, so as you guys also mentioned before, Ghost is the fact checker, but for this, she's also kind of like our
grabber,
our handler.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, you want to say hi to the people?
No.
Okay. Alright, so here's your phone, Haley.
Alright, so this is my phone.
I don't understand anything it's saying.
So basically, I
got Google Maps. I got Google Maps out of that.
Woo! Woo! Yay, go you!
I can see it and I don't know what it's saying.
Yeah, so this is my iPhone. I just went to the Apple store and I bought an iPhone just like you or your best friend would. So basically, iPhone comes compatible with like for blind checks or blind people out of the box because it has a software that's already pre-installed where you can just go into your settings and download it, and that's all you gotta do. So basically, it has like different gestures that I use to do different things. So I'll show you how I send a text. Let's go.
Which is very rare because she doesn't do that half the time.
Well, I do. I'm very selective about who I text back and when I do it.
So she's selective for not texting me back or goes back. Gotcha.
Well, I'm getting better, you guys. I am getting better. Like, I had a full-blown conversation with him on Messenger yesterday, and it was pretty great. So, yeah.
Talking to me is pretty great. I agree.
I know.
All right, so. I don't understand.
You're so confused.
So from my perspective,
right? Which
yeah, they can see it. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna say, hey, what's up? This podcast is
blindingly awesome. because that's the name of it.
A blast.
Bless.
And you gotta have
Bless.
And you gotta have some emojis because it wouldn't be a text from Haley if you didn't have emojis. So
This is true.
let's definitely add some of those in.
Next keyword. Frequently used. Yellow. Face with heart. Yellow. Smiling face with squinting eye. Thumbs up with light skin tone. Thumbs up with light
So
And this is what it says, y'all. Here we go.
Show more. Message. Emoji replacements.
I'm gonna pull my phone out.
Name on top. Question mark. This podcast is a blast. 3 thumbs up with light skin tone. Word. Send. Button. Send message.
Here's my phone.
Message. Text view.
I'm gonna hold it like this. Oh, popped up. You guys saw it.
Bam.
Haley, it says, I'm gonna get into it. Zach sucks.
No.
It's,
Hey, Goose, what does it say?
It says, hey, what's up? This podcast is a blast. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. So that is just a little example of how she can, communicate with people, everyone else, right?
Yeah, I have Instagram, and I love taking pictures. Ironic for a blind chick, I know, but I love it. So I have Instagram, I have Facebook, and...
She takes pictures of herself half the time and not meaning to.
No, that's not true. That is false information.
You don't know that.
Yeah, I do.
How?
I know.
You
because
can't...
I know what the camera's pointing at, because it'll tell me if it's facing forward or it's facing backwards, so I know what I'm capturing. I had people edit them and make sure that they look okay before I post them, make sure that they're Insta-worthy, as they say. But yeah, I know what I'm taking pictures of.
Okay. I don't believe you, but okay.
Well, then just look at my Instagram, y'all. Haley Sumner 2, I'll just put it out there. So yeah, I mean, if you want to know how I take pictures and if the pictures are Insta-worthy, check out for yourselves and figure it out.
She's also going to be running our Instagram for the Zach and Friends podcast whenever we get it going.
Mm-hmm.
I just told her this.
Person.
I just told her this, so you guys heard it first.
I'm very excited. So pumped. I love marketing, so let's go.
Love marketing. All right. So every episode we want to close out with either an inspirational quote or a life lesson from our local blind chick. So, Haley, do you have anything that's helped you get through your life that you want to share, or just general advice?
Yeah, so today I would say, as the resident blind chick, I would say just no matter what life brings you, no matter what you're going through, just try and find the positive in any situation, even if it's really hard. Try and find at least one or two things that will uplift you and keep you going. I know, for me, blindness has always been almost like a joke to me. I've never really taken it seriously because I really don't have to, because it's part of me. But there are other things that I've experienced as I've helped other people through in life that haven't been as funny, or that have been a bit more difficult to go through. So in those moments, I always try and encourage just to find one thing that you can look at in an optimistic way. Haha, I said look. Yep. Anyway.
Unplanned. That was unplanned on my part.
Yeah. But it worked. So
it did work.
There you go.
It came naturally.
Exactly.
Naturally in the conversation.
Right. Which is how a podcast is supposed to go.
Exactly. So. Nose picking and all. So I didn't mention this earlier, and I should have, and I'm sorry. So we were talking about Instagram. I actually it's actually my niece's mom. Her name is Victoria, and she does a lot of interesting things. She has a blog on there. So she does some things like couponing, frugal living. She has healthy recipes, healthy eating, healthy living. I've known her for years and years. She's super nice. She's probably the second nicest person in Indiana that I've met. You guys should definitely go check it out. If you were wanting to know how to coupon, or I say coupon, coupon, whatever it is.
Same difference.
Have you heard that Ron White joke where he goes coupon? Coupon. So anyway, so if you're interested in trying to learn how to save money, how to make what you have last, I believe I think this is the last time she's bought. She has a family of 4, so my niece and my nephew and her husband, obviously, and they she provides food for them for like $10. I think she just went grocery shopping for 4 people and only spent like $20.
Nice.
It's obviously that might be a little bit of an exaggeration, but the point is she knows how to do it. And she also, like I said, has a lot of recipes she shares, and she has a lot of healthy living tips, right? So you guys should check her out. Her Instagram is VictoriaLine629. I don't know where the 629 came from, because that's not even the area code around here.
No.
But yep. So like I said, her Instagram is at VictoriaLine629. That's at VictoriaLine 629. I was making sure I spelled line right. What the hell's wrong with me? All right. So once again, this was the Blindingly Awesome podcast show. I'm Zach.
And I'm Haley.
And we will talk to you next time.
We will. We'll see you next time, y'all.
We will see you next time. I will see you. She will just talk.
I'll see you in shadow.
All right. Bye, guys.
Adios.